something that I was just gnawing on Universe and thinking about the dollar collapse and some of the aspects of what's going to come out of it. And one of the reasons it makes me so excited to get this thing on and get it started is that everyone's labor is devalued and diluted by this money printing. The dollars that we work for and the dollars that we hold in our hand continually lose their value and purchasing power as the Fed prints more and more money. Wages have been stagnant for the last 20 years, and if anything, the entry-level labor market is paying less now than it did maybe 5-6 years ago. And part of that's because of the added costs of benefits packages, which are essentially other ends of the Ponzi scheme. But the cost of living has dramatically increased because this new money printing has gone into the housing bubble, making the housing all more expensive, and into commodities. And we're also going to see this transition from the real estate bubble, and a lot of the new money that's being printed now is going into the commodities. But more and more of it, or most of it, is derivatives of commodities. But so when this crash happens, I'm of the thinking that your labor will no longer be just so easily diluted. Like the purchasing power of whatever you work for is going to be worth a whole lot more than what we're getting for it now. I mean, even if everybody were to go out and use nickels, everybody use nickels as a currency, or just our current coinage that's in circulation, because that's something metal. It's really not worth anything intrinsically, but the coins itself have to be produced, and there's a limited quantity of them. And so, we could all go on a standard where we're working for a steel dime, per day, and a week's pay would be, a 50-cent piece or something like that. But if your rent is $1.50 or $1.75, it'd be like 75 cents or 60 cents. It's all relative. So, but in that case, your rent may only be a quarter. It may be 1 week's worth of work. Then, where most people are working a week and a half to 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks out of the month just to afford their housing, whether it be rent or mortgage. What if you could clear it in 3 days? 3 days worth of work, take care of your housing, and that's going to be happening, because where it takes maybe 4 or 5 days of the week of the month to pay for all of the food, that ratio is going to go up. More and more of our time is going to be spent raising and growing food, and that's where labor is going to be much more valuable. Because if you're out there working with your hands and in the dirt, or running a tractor, or producing fuel for the tractor, those kinds of things are going to be worth a lot more, and your labor won't be able to be diluted. Again, we're going to have a global fiat currency on a chip or a card forced on us, and we have to reject that. We need to go to, we need to basically outlaw or get rid of the legal tender laws, the legal tender laws, and allow for competing currencies, because because, you know, we have the debt-based currency, and it's an expansion. They're contracting the money supply now from the real economy and shoving it all into this fiat paper market to just try to keep it propped up, but it's not going to. So that was my thought. Labor is going to be worth more in the future than what it is now. The paper pushing, the people that sit in cubicles and type on computers that physically do not produce anything, those jobs are going to be gone. I don't know what percentage of the labor market that kind of represents, but I'd have to say it's got to be over 50% of the people mess around with paper, or shuffle paper around. So all I can say is get doing something. Grow fuel, or grow food, produce fuel, or and reject this global currency, folks. That's all I can say. Get out of paper, buy some silver, crash shape and worry. Oh yeah.